First contact. The vast expanse of space stretched out before Dr. Elara Chen as she gazed through the reinforced viewport of Outpost Zeta. The remote research station orbited a gas giant in an uncharted star system, far from the bustle of Earth's colonies. Elara had volunteered for this solo mission to study the unique atmospheric phenomena of the planet below, but after 6 months of isolation, the loneliness was starting to wear on her. Elara sighed and turned away from the viewport, her dark eyes scanning the cluttered main chamber of the outpost. Holographic displays flickered with data streams, and various scientific instruments hummed softly in the background. It was time for another routine check of the station's systems. As she moved towards the central console, a faint tremor ran through the floor beneath her feet. Elara froze, her heart rate quickening. In space, unexpected movements were never a good sign. "Computer, run a full diagnostic," she commanded, her voice steady despite the surge of adrenaline. Analyzing, the AI responded in its calm, androgynous tone. "Alert. Anomalous energy signature detected in lower storage bay." Elara frowned. The lower storage bay housed mostly spare parts and backup systems. There shouldn't be anything down there capable of producing an energy signature. "Specify nature of the anomaly," she ordered. "Unable to classify. Energy pattern does not match any known source in database." Curiosity overrode caution in Elara's mind. This could be the discovery of a lifetime, exactly the kind of thing she'd hoped to find out here in the depths of space. "I'm going to check it out," she announced, more to herself than the computer. Grabbing a handheld scanner and a portable energy shield, Elara made her way to the access hatch leading to the lower levels. The station's gravity lessened as she descended, and by the time she reached the storage bay, she was in near zero G. The bay was dimly lit, filled with rows of sealed containers and equipment racks. Elara's scanner beeped softly, guiding her towards the source of the anomaly. As she rounded a corner, she gasped. A large cylindrical object floated in the center of the room, pulsing with a soft, blue-green light. It was clearly of alien origin, its surface covered in intricate, swirling patterns that seemed to shift and change as she watched. "Incredible," Elara whispered, her scientific mind already racing with questions. How had this object gotten here? Was it some kind of capsule? A weapon? A piece of advanced technology? Unable to resist, Elara reached out to touch the surface of the cylinder. The moment her fingers made contact, a surge of energy coursed through her body. She jerked her hand back with a yelp, but it was too late. The cylinder's pulsing intensified, and the patterns on its surface began to move more rapidly. With a hiss of escaping air, a seam appeared along its length. Elara watched in awe and trepidation as the object split open, revealing a shimmer of iridescent liquid within. The liquid began to coalesce, taking on a vaguely humanoid shape. Elara stumbled backward, her back pressing against the cold metal wall of the storage bay. The shape continued to solidify, features becoming more distinct with each passing second. Finally, standing, or rather, floating, before her was a being unlike anything Elara had ever seen. It was tall and slender, with 4 arms and skin that shimmered like the surface of a soap bubble. Its head was elongated, with large, almond-shaped eyes that glowed with an inner light. The alien blinked, focusing its gaze on Elara. She held her breath, unsure whether to run or attempt communication. Before she could decide, a voice echoed in her mind. "You have awakened me, human." Elara's jaw dropped. The alien was communicating telepathically. She struggled to form a coherent thought in response. I'm Dr. Elara Chen. What are you?" The alien's head tilted slightly, a gesture that seemed almost curious. "I am Zixix, last of the Lumina. I have slumbered here for eons, waiting for one who could awaken me." "But how did you get here?" Elara asked, the scientific curiosity overcoming her fear. "This station has only been here for a few years." Zixix's body rippled, a movement Elara interpreted as the alien equivalent of a shrug. Time and space are fluid for my kind. Your arrival was inevitable. Ilara's mind reeled with the implications. An ancient alien species with the ability to transcend time and space. The scientific possibilities were staggering, but as her initial shock wore off, a new concern arose. "Are you dangerous?" she asked cautiously. Zigzag's eyes pulsed with a soft light. "I am as dangerous as knowledge itself, Dr. Elara Chen. My awakening will change everything, for you, for humanity, for the galaxy." A shiver ran down Elara's spine. She had come to this remote outpost seeking discovery, but nothing could have prepared her for this. As she stood face to face with Zigzags, last of the Lumina, Elara knew that her life, and potentially the future of humanity, would never be the same. "What do you mean, change everything?" Elara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Zigzags floated closer, its iridescent skin rippling with patterns of light. "The universe is vast and full of wonders, Dr. Chen, but it is also fraught with dangers beyond your comprehension. My people, the Lumina, were guardians of cosmic balance. We watched over younger races, protecting them from threats they could not yet face." Ilara's scientific mind was buzzing with questions, but one stood out above the rest. "If your people were so powerful, what happened to them?" A wave of sadness seemed to emanate from Zigzags, filling the room with a palpable sense of loss. "We faced an enemy beyond even our abilities. A darkness that consumes entire galaxies. In our final act, we scattered ourselves across time and space, waiting in stasis for the day when we might be needed again." The implications of Zigzag's words sent a chill through Ilara's body. "Are you saying this? Darkness is coming here, to our galaxy?" Zigzag's eyes pulsed with a soft, blue light. "It is always coming, Dr. Chen. The question is not if, but when. And when it arrives, your people must be ready." Elara took a deep breath, trying to process the magnitude of what she was hearing. "But why me? Why did you wake up for me?" The alien's form shimmered, and Elara felt a gentle touch on her mind, like a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Because you have the potential to bridge our worlds, Dr. Chen. Your curiosity, your intelligence, your willingness to face the unknown, these are the qualities that will be needed in the times to come." A mix of emotions swirled within Elara: fear, excitement, and a growing sense of responsibility. She had come to this outpost seeking scientific discoveries, but now she found herself at the center of something far greater. "What do we do now?" she asked, her voice steadier than she felt. Zigzag's body pulsed with a soft light. "Now, we learn from each other. I will share with you the knowledge of the Lumina, and you will teach me about humanity. Together, we will prepare for what is to come." As if on cue, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Ilara's comm unit crackled to life with the computer's voice. "Alert! Unknown vessel approaching. Hostile intent detected." Ilara's eyes widened in panic. "That's impossible. We're in uncharted space. There shouldn't be anyone else out here." Zigzag's form tensed, its colors shifting to deeper, more intense hues. "The darkness has scouts, Dr. Chen. It seems our time is shorter than I had hoped." Without warning, the station shook violently, nearly throwing Elara off her feet. She grabbed onto a nearby console to steady herself. "We're under attack." Zigzags moved with fluid grace towards the storage bay's exit. "Come, Dr. Chen. If we are to survive this, we must work together. Are you ready to take your first steps into a larger universe?" Elara hesitated for just a moment, her old life flashing before her eyes. Then, with a determined nod, she pushed off from the console and followed Zigzags. "Lead the way." As they raced towards the main control room, Elara couldn't help but feel a mix of terror and exhilaration. In the span of a few minutes, her quiet research mission had turned into the adventure of a lifetime. She had no idea what challenges lay ahead, but one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same again. The station rocked with another impact as Elara and Zigzags entered the main control room. Holographic displays flickered with damage reports and sensor readings. Through the viewport, Ilara caught a glimpse of their attacker, a sleek, black ship that seemed to absorb the light around it. "What is that thing?" Ilara gasped, her hands flying over the control panels as she tried to reinforce the station's shields. Zix's form pulsed with a dark, angry red. "A void reaver. A scout for the darkness I spoke of. It seeks to destroy any potential threat before the main force arrives." Ilara's mind raced. The station's defenses were meant for protection against space debris and solar flares, not an advanced alien attack. "Our weapons are barely scratching it," she reported, watching the ineffective energy blasts dissipate against the Void Reaver's hull. "Traditional weapons will not suffice," Zix said, its voice calm despite the chaos around them. "Dr. Chen, I need access to your station's power core." Ilara hesitated for a split second. Giving an unknown alien access to the station's most critical systems went against every protocol she'd ever learned. But as another blast rocked the station, she realized she had no choice. "Computer, grant full access to power systems to life form Zix," she commanded. "Access granted," the computer responded. Zix's form seemed to merge with the station's holographic interfaces. Streams of alien code flowed through the displays faster than Ilara's eyes could follow. "I am reconfiguring your energy matrix," Zix explained. "We will use the station itself as a weapon." Ilara watched in awe as the lights throughout the station dimmed. A low hum built up around them, making her teeth vibrate. "What are you doing?" "Creating a temporal disruption field," Zix replied. "It will tear the Void Reaver from normal space-time, but I need your help to target it precisely." Ilara nodded, pushing aside her amazement to focus on the task at hand. She pulled up the targeting systems, her fingers flying over the controls. "Ready when you are. Now, Dr. Chen." Ilara hit the activation sequence. A pulse of energy unlike anything she'd ever seen before erupted from the station. It enveloped the Void Reaver, which seemed to twist and distort before her eyes. For a moment, it looked as if the ship was being stretched in impossible directions. Then, with a flash of light that left spots dancing in Ilara's vision, the Void Reaver vanished. The sudden silence was almost deafening. Ilara let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. Did we do it?" Zix's form slowly separated from the station's systems, its colors returning to a calmer blue. "The immediate threat has been neutralized. The Void Reaver has been cast adrift in the time stream." Ilara slumped into the nearest chair, the adrenaline leaving her system. "I can't believe we just did that. I have so many questions." "And there will be time for answers," Zix assured her. "But first, we must prepare. The Void Reaver was only the beginning. Its disappearance will not go unnoticed." Ilara straightened up, a new determination filling her. "What do we do?" Zix's eyes pulsed with an approving light. "We learn, Dr. Chen. We adapt. And we find a way to awaken the rest of my people. The fate of the galaxy may depend on it." As Ilara looked out at the stars, she realized that her life had changed forever. She had set out to study the universe, but now she found herself tasked with helping to save it. It was terrifying, exhilarating, and exactly the kind of challenge she had always dreamed of facing. With Zix at her side, Ilara took a deep breath and prepared to face the unknown. The adventure of a lifetime was just beginning. Quantum bonds and cosmic secrets. Ilara's fingers danced over the holographic interface, her eyes darting between streams of data and the shimmering form of Zix. It had been 3 weeks since the Void Reaver attack, and the human scientist and her alien companion had fallen into an intense routine of knowledge exchange and preparation. "Your species' grasp of quantum mechanics is quaint," Zix observed, its body pulsing with amused golden light. Ilara snorted, pushing a stray lock of hair from her face. "Well, excuse us for not having a few million years head start, but I think you'll find we're quick learners." As if to prove her point, Ilara manipulated the holographic model before them, adjusting variables in an equation that would have baffled Earth's top physicists. The simulation pulsed and shifted, revealing new layers of subatomic interactions. Impressive, 66 conceded, its form rippling with approval. You've grasped the basics of quantum entanglement across dimensional barriers in mere days. It helps to have a good teacher, Ilara replied with a grin. Though I'm still wrapping my head around the idea of consciousness as a fundamental force of the universe. Zigzag's eyes pulsed with a soft blue light. The Lumina discovered long ago that thought itself is a form of energy, capable of shaping reality at its most basic level. It is how we achieved our mastery over time and space. Ilara nodded, her mind racing with the implications. And it's why the Void Reavers are so dangerous. They don't just destroy matter, they consume consciousness itself. Precisely, Zigzag confirmed, a note of sadness in its mental voice. The darkness they serve seeks to unravel the very fabric of existence, returning the universe to a state of primordial chaos. A shiver ran down Ilara's spine. The stakes were higher than she could have ever imagined. So how do we stop them? You mentioned awakening more of your people. Zigzag floated towards the viewport, gazing out at the gas giant below. Yes, but it's not as simple as finding and activating more stasis pods. The Lumina scattered themselves not just across space, but across time and alternate realities. Ilara's eyes widened. You mean, parallel universes? They're real. More real than you can imagine, Zix replied. The multiverse is vast and intricate, with countless branching timelines and alternate dimensions. My people hid themselves throughout this cosmic tapestry, waiting for the right moment to reunite. Ilara felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. And let me guess, I'm supposed to help you find them. Zix turned back to her, its body shimmering with anticipation. Not just find them, Dr. Chen. You are the key to awakening them. Your unique quantum signature, combined with the knowledge I've shared, would allow us to reach across the barriers of reality. Wait, what? Ilara sputtered. My quantum signature. What makes me so special? Zix's form pulsed with a warm, reassuring light. You underestimate yourself, Ilara. Your mind possesses a rare flexibility, able to grasp concepts that should be beyond your species' current evolution. Moreover, your very atoms resonate at a frequency that harmonizes with the cosmic background radiation left by the luminous diaspora. Ilara sat down heavily in her chair, her mind reeling. So, what you're saying is, I'm some kind of cosmic lockpick. An inelegant metaphor, but not entirely inaccurate, Zix replied, a hint of amusement in its mental voice. Together, we will forge a quantum beacon, calling out to my scattered brethren across the multiverse. Ilara took a deep breath, trying to center herself. All right, let's say we manage to do this. What then? How do we fight an enemy that can devour entire galaxies? Zix's form shimmered with determination. With knowledge, ingenuity, and the power of unified consciousness, the Lumina alone were not enough to stop the darkness, but perhaps with humanity's unique perspective and adaptability, we can find a solution. A thought struck Ilara. Wait a minute. If your people could travel through time, why didn't you just go to the future, see if you won, and then come back with a solution? Zix's colors shifted to a deep, contemplative purple. Time is not as linear as you might think, Dr. Chen. Each journey risks creating new branches of reality. We learned the hard way that trying to outsmart time itself often leads to unintended consequences. Ilara nodded slowly, processing the information. So we're really flying blind here, aren't we? Not blind, Zix corrected. We have hope, determination, and each other. Sometimes that is enough to change the course of history. As if on cue, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Ilara spun towards the main console, her heart racing. Multiple anomalies detected, she reported. Spatial rifts are opening all around us. Zix's form tensed, its colors shifting to alert reds and oranges. It seems our enemies have found us sooner than expected. The void reavers are tearing through the dimensional barriers. Ilara's hands flew over the controls, activating the station's defenses. Can we use that temporal disruption field again? Not against so many targets, 6X replied grimly. We need a new strategy. Ilara's mind raced, drawing on the knowledge 6X had shared and her own scientific intuition. What if we turn their own tactic against them? Use the station to create our own dimensional rift. 6X's eyes pulsed with interest. A daring plan, but to where would we escape? A wild idea formed in Ilara's mind. Not where, when. You said I have some kind of special quantum signature, right? What if we use that to guide us to another version of me, in a reality where humanity is more advanced? We could gather allies, technology, anything that might help us fight back. 6X was silent for a moment, its form shimmering with rapid calculations. It's dangerous, unpredictable, and possibly our only chance. Do it, Dr. Chen. Ilara didn't hesitate. Her fingers danced across the holographic interface, inputting commands faster than she thought possible. She felt 6X's consciousness merge with her own, guiding her actions with alien precision. The station groaned and shuddered as energy built up around them. Through the viewport, Ilara could see the Void Reaver's ships emerging from swirling vortexes, their black holes seeming to devour the starlight. Hold on, Ilara shouted, slamming her hand down on the activation sequence. Reality itself seemed to twist and bend around them. Ilara felt as if her very atoms were being pulled apart and reassembled. Colors she had no names for flashed before her eyes, and for a brief, terrifying moment, she felt as if she could see every possible version of herself stretched out across the multiverse. Then, with a thunderous crack, everything went dark. When Ilara opened her eyes, she found herself lying on a cold, metallic floor. As her vision cleared, she gasped. She was still in a space station, but one far more advanced than her own. Sleek, organic-looking technology pulsed with life all around her. 6X, she called out, her voice shaky. Are you there? I am here, Dr. Chen, came the familiar mental voice, though it sounded strained. But I'm afraid our journey has had unexpected consequences. Ilara turned and felt her jaw drop. Where once had floated a shimmering, four-armed alien, now stood a tall, humanoid figure with iridescent skin and glowing eyes. 6X, she whispered, what happened to you? Before the transformed Lumina could answer, a new voice rang out, one chillingly familiar to Ilara. Step away from the alien, Doctor, and please try not to be alarmed by the gun pointed at your head. I've had a very long day, and I'd rather not shoot myself again. Ilara turned slowly, coming face to face with herself, an older, battle-worn version of herself, dressed in a sleek uniform adorned with insignias she didn't recognize. And true to her word, pointing a very large, very alien-looking weapon directly at Ilara's forehead. As Ilara raised her hands in surrender, she couldn't help but think that her plan for gathering allies might have gotten off to a rocky start. But as she met the steely gaze of her alternate self, she felt a glimmer of hope. If nothing else, this new reality promised to be full of surprises. Well, Ilara said, trying to keep her voice steady, I don't suppose you'd believe me if I said we come in peace. Her alternate self's lip quirked in a humorless smile. Oh, honey, you have no idea what peace even means in this universe. Welcome to the front lines of the multiversal war. Quantum echoes and temporal paradoxes. Ilara's mind reeled as she stared at her alternate self, the words multiversal war echoing in her ears. The older Ilara, who had introduced herself as Commander Chen, lowered her weapon slowly, her eyes never leaving 6X's transformed form. So, Commander Chen said, her voice dripping with sarcasm, I see you've made friends with a chrono-shifter. Bold move. Most universes consider them myths or doomsday weapons. 6X stepped forward, his new humanoid form rippling with unease. I assure you, Commander, we are not your enemies. I am 6X of the Lumina, and we've come seeking allies against the Void Reavers. Commander Chen's eyebrow arched. Lumina. Well, isn't that a plot twist? We thought your kind were extinct in every timeline. Excuse me, Ilara interjected, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear, but what exactly is a chrono-shifter? Her older self sighed, holstering her weapon. They're beings that can manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. Some say they're the key to winning the war. Others think they'll unravel reality if we're not careful. Zix nodded solemnly. Your assessment is not entirely inaccurate. My people's abilities are formidable. But we are guardians, not destroyers. A klaxon suddenly blared through the station, causing both Elaras to wince. Commander Chen tapped a device on her wrist, bringing up a holographic display. Temporal incursion detected in Sector 7, a disembodied voice announced. Quantum resonance patterns match Void Reaver signatures. Damn it, Commander Chen muttered. They followed you here. She fixed Ilara and Zix with a steely gaze. All right, interdimensional tourists, you want to prove you're on our side. Help us repel this attack. Ilara nodded eagerly, while Zix's form pulsed with determination. What do you need us to do? Commander Chen smiled grimly. Ever heard of quantum entanglement artillery? Minutes later, Ilara found herself in a vast chamber, filled with technology beyond her wildest dreams. Massive cannons pulsed with ethereal energy, their barrels seemingly phasing in and out of reality. These weapons, Zix explained as they worked, utilize quantum entanglement to target the Void Reavers across multiple dimensions simultaneously. Ingenious. Commander Chen smirked. Glad you approve. Now, let's see what Illumina can do to boost their effectiveness. As Zix merged with the weapon systems, his consciousness expanding across the quantum network, Ilara manned a control station. The view screen before her showed a terrifying sight. A swarm of Void Reaver ships, their black holes seeming to devour the very starlight around them. Multiple dimensional breaches detected, the station's AI announced. Void Reavers attempting to establish temporal beachhead. Not on my watch, Commander Chen growled. All batteries, fire at will. The quantum entanglement cannons roared to life, sending pulses of energy that rippled across the fabric of space-time. Ilara watched in awe as the beams struck the Void Reaver ships, causing them to distort and fragment across multiple realities. But the enemy was relentless. For every ship they destroyed, two more seemed to take its place, pouring through rifts in the dimensional barriers. We need more power. Commander Chen shouted over the din of battle. We can't hold them off forever. Ilara's mind raced, drawing on the knowledge Zix had shared with her. What if we created a temporal feedback loop, she suggested, use their own time manipulation against them? Her older self's eyes widened. That's insane. It could tear a hole in the universe. Or it could send them spiraling into a time-locked pocket dimension, Ilara countered. It's risky, but... Do it, Commander Chen interrupted. At this point, we've got nothing to lose. Ilara's fingers flew over the controls, reconfiguring the quantum entanglement matrix. She felt Zix's consciousness brush against her own, guiding her actions with inhuman precision. Temporal feedback loop initiated, the AI announced. Warning, dimensional stability compromised. The space around the station began to warp and twist. The Void Reaver ships shuddered, caught in the grip of conflicting time streams. Ilara watched in fascination as the enemy vessels seemed to age and decay before her eyes, millennia passing in seconds. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light erupted from the center of the Void Reaver fleet. When it faded, the enemy ships were gone, replaced by a swirling vortex of temporal energy. Did we do it? Ilara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Commander Chen stared at the readings in disbelief. We did more than that. We've created a temporal singularity, a fixed point in time that exists across all realities. Zixix's form separated from the weapon systems, his eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "You've done more than win a battle, Dr. Chen. You've given us a weapon that could turn the tide of the entire war." As the implications of their actions sank in, Ilara felt a mixture of exhilaration and terror. They had achieved something unprecedented, but at what cost? Her thoughts were interrupted by a new alarm. The station shuddered, and reality itself seemed to flicker around them. "What's happening now?" Ilara asked, gripping her console for support. Commander Chen's face paled as she read the incoming data. "The temporal singularity, it's destabilizing. We've created a paradox nexus." "In English, please," Ilara demanded. Zixix's form pulsed with urgent colors. "We've become a focal point for conflicting timelines. Every possible outcome of our actions is trying to assert itself simultaneously." As if to illustrate his point, ghostly images began to flicker around the chamber. Ilara saw versions of herself and Commander Chen from countless alternate realities, some victorious, others fallen in battle. The walls of the station seemed to phase between different configurations, and through it all, the swirling vortex of the temporal singularity pulsed ominously. "How do we stop it?" Ilara shouted over the cacophony of overlapping realities. Commander Chen's eyes met hers, a look of grim determination on her face. "We don't stop it. We ride it out. This is our chance to see every possible future and choose the one we want." As the paradox nexus expanded around them, Ilara realized that their quest for allies had become something far greater. They now held the fate of not just their universe, but all universes in their hands. With Zixix at her side and her alternate self before her, Ilara took a deep breath and prepared to navigate the storm of possibilities. The true battle for the multiverse was about to begin. Quantum convergence and the nexus of realities. The paradox nexus swirled around them, a kaleidoscope of alternate realities vying for dominance. Ilara, Commander Chen, and Zixix stood at the eye of the temporal storm, their forms flickering between countless possible versions of themselves. "We need to stabilize the nexus," Commander Chen shouted over the din of collapsing timelines. "If we don't, the fabric of reality itself could unravel." Ilara's mind raced, drawing on both her scientific knowledge and the cosmic wisdom Zixix had shared. What if we use the quantum entanglement artillery to create a resonance field? We could harmonize the conflicting timelines. Zixix's form pulsed with approval. "An ingenious idea, Dr. Chen, but we'll need a focal point, a constant that exists across all realities." Commander Chen's eyes widened with realization. "The Codex Infinitum. It's an artifact we recovered from a dead universe. Legends say it contains the base code of reality itself." As if summoned by her words, a shimmering book materialized before them, its pages filled with ever-shifting symbols and equations. Ilara reached out, her fingers brushing the cover, and gasped as knowledge flooded her mind. I can read it," she whispered in awe. "It's like the universe is speaking directly to me." "Then you're the key," Commander Chen said firmly. "You need to interface with the Codex and guide our efforts to stabilize the nexus." Ilara nodded, her resolve strengthening. She opened the Codex Infinitum, its pages glowing with otherworldly light. As she began to read aloud, her voice took on a resonant, multi-layered quality, as if every version of herself across the multiverse was speaking in unison. Zixix merged with the quantum entanglement systems once more, his consciousness expanding to encompass the swirling vortex of realities. Commander Chen manned the controls, her experienced hands dancing over holographic interfaces. Initiating quantum resonance field, Commander Chen announced, targeting the paradox nexus with cross-dimensional harmonics. The air around them hummed with energy as beams of coherent quantum light lanced out from the station's weapons. Guided by Ilara's reading of the Codex and amplified by Zixix's cosmic awareness, the beams penetrated the heart of the temporal storm. Slowly, the chaotic swirl of alternate realities began to align. The flickering, ghostly images stabilized, coalescing into clearer visions of possible futures. Elara saw worlds where humanity had ascended to godlike beings of pure energy, timelines where Earth lay in ruins, and realities where the war against the Void Reavers had taken unimaginable turns. "It's working," Commander Chen exclaimed. "The Nexus is stabilizing, but we need to choose a prime timeline to anchor reality around." Elara's mind expanded, touching each possible future in turn. She could feel the weight of countless lives, of entire civilizations, hanging in the balance. How could she possibly choose? Suddenly, a new presence made itself known, a collective consciousness that seemed to span the entire multiverse. Elara realized with a start that it was the combined awareness of every version of herself, Zixix, and Commander Chen across all realities. "We are the quantum confluence," the voices spoke as one. "Through us, all possibilities converge. The choice is not yours alone to make, Elara Chen. It belongs to all of us." Understanding dawned on Elara. This wasn't about choosing a single correct timeline. It was about finding a way to preserve the best elements of every reality, to forge a new path that drew strength from the infinite diversity of the multiverse. With newfound clarity, Elara began to weave the timelines together, guided by the collective wisdom of the quantum confluence. She saw how humanity's ingenuity could be combined with Lumina guardianship, how the technological marvels of one reality could be fused with the spiritual enlightenment of another. As the new composite timeline took shape, the paradox nexus began to collapse in on itself. The swirling vortex of temporal energy condensed, forming a shimmering crystal at the center of the chamber. The nexus crystal, Zixix breathed, his form radiating with awe. A fragment of pure possibility, containing the potential of every reality we've touched. Commander Chen stared at the readings on her console in disbelief. "The timelines are stabilizing. We've done it. We've actually rewritten the fundamental structure of the multiverse." As the last echoes of alternate realities faded, Elara felt the presence of the quantum confluence recede. She was herself again, but forever changed, carrying within her the echoes of countless other lives and experiences. "So what now?" Elara asked, her voice hoarse from the strain of reading the Codex Infinitum. "Where do we go from here?" Commander Chen smiled, a glimmer of hope in her eyes for the first time since they'd met. "Now we take the fight to the Void Reavers. With the power of the Nexus Crystal and the knowledge we've gained, we have a real chance of ending this war." Zixix nodded sullenly. "But our journey is far from over. The multiverse is vast, and there are still many mysteries to unravel." As if in response to his words, the Nexus Crystal pulsed with energy. A holographic display sprang to life, showing a map of interconnected realities spanning beyond imagination. "By the stars," Commander Chen whispered, "it's showing us paths to other universes, other dimensions we never knew existed." Elara felt a surge of excitement and trepidation. They had overcome impossible odds and reshaped reality itself, but she knew this was only the beginning. The true adventure, exploring the new multiverse they had helped create, was just beginning. "Well," Elara said, a smile tugging at her lips, "I guess we'd better start charting a course. The multiverse isn't going to save itself." As Commander Chen began plotting their next move and Zixix communed with the Nexus Crystal, Elara found herself filled with a sense of boundless possibility. They had transcended the limits of their individual selves, becoming something greater in the process. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever cosmic horrors the Void Reavers might unleash, Elara knew that they would face them together, not just as individuals, but as living embodiments of the infinite potential of the multiverse itself. The quantum confluence had shown them a glimpse of what was possible when barriers between realities broke down. Now, it was up to them to build a future worthy of that cosmic legacy. As the station's engines hummed to life, preparing to journey into uncharted dimensions, Elara felt a thrill of anticipation. The next chapter of their cosmic odyssey was about to begin, and she couldn't wait to see what wonders and dangers awaited them in the vast, untamed frontiers of the reborn multiverse. Cosmic awakening and the multiversal nexus. The station hummed with newfound energy as it traversed the boundaries between realities, guided by the pulsing light of the nexus crystal. Ilara, Commander Chen, and Zixix stood at the helm, their eyes fixed on the swirling vortex of dimensional energies that surrounded them. "We're approaching the coordinates provided by the quantum confluence," Commander Chen announced, her fingers dancing over holographic controls. "Preparing for multiversal translation in 3, 2, 1. Reality itself seemed to stretch and snap as the station pierced the veil between universes. When the disorientation faded, Ilara gasped at the sight before them. They had emerged in a vast, shimmering expanse that defied conventional physics. Floating islands of matter hung suspended in a sea of swirling cosmic energies. Each island seemed to be a pocket universe unto itself, teeming with unique life forms and civilizations. "Welcome," Zixis said, his voice filled with awe, "to the multiversal nexus." As they maneuvered through this impossible space, the nexus crystal pulsed with increasing urgency. Suddenly, a beam of energy shot forth from the crystal, connecting with a distant island universe that glowed with an otherworldly light. "It's calling to us," Ilara murmured, feeling a resonance deep within her being. As they approached the glowing island, they saw that it was home to a magnificent city of crystal spires and flowing energy conduits. At its center stood a colossal structure that seemed to be made of pure thought-given form. "The Cosmic Citadel," Commander Chen breathed. "I thought it was just a legend." As their station docked with the impossible structure, they were greeted by beings of pure energy, their forms shifting and flowing like living constellations. "Welcome, quantum pioneers," the beings spoke directly into their minds. "We are the cosmic architects, guardians of the multiversal nexus. Your actions have set in motion events that will reshape the very fabric of existence." Ilara stepped forward, drawn by an inexplicable familiarity. You're the source of the quantum confluence, aren't you?" The lead architect's form pulsed with approval. "Indeed, we are the culmination of countless civilizations that have ascended beyond physical form. And now, you have been chosen to join our ranks." Before Ilara could process this revelation, alarms blared throughout the cosmic citadel. The sea of cosmic energy surrounding them churned and darkened, as if infected by some malevolent force. "The Void Reavers," Zixix hissed, his form shifting with agitation. "They found a way to breach the multiversal nexus." The cosmic architect's forms flickered with urgency. "The balance of all realities hangs in the balance. You must complete your ascension and take your place as guardians of the multiverse." Commander Chen's eyes widened. "Ascension? You mean become like you? But we're not ready." "There is no more time," the architects insisted. "The power is within you, awakened by your journey through the quantum confluence. You must embrace it now, or all will be lost." Ilara felt a surge of energy within her, as if every atom of her being was vibrating in harmony with the cosmos. She saw Zixix and Commander Chen experiencing the same transformation, their physical forms beginning to shimmer and dissolve. "What's happening to us?" Ilara gasped, watching as her hands became translucent, filled with swirling galaxies. "You are becoming one with the cosmic consciousness," the architects explained. "Your individual experiences, your unique perspectives, they are the key to defeating the Void Reavers once and for all." As the transformation neared its completion, Ilara felt her mind expanding, touching the very edges of reality. She could see the intricate web of cause and effect that bound all universes together, and in that moment, she understood what needed to be done. "The Nexus Crystal," she said, her voice resonating with newfound power. "It's not just a map or a power source, it's a seed of a new multiverse." Commander Chen, her form now a swirling nebula of cosmic energy, nodded in understanding. "We don't just fight the Void Reavers, we rewrite the rules of reality itself." Zixix, his luminescence now fully merged with the cosmic energies, added, we create a multiverse where the fundamental laws reject the very existence of the void. The cosmic architect's forms pulsed with approval. Yes, this is why you were chosen. Your unique combination of scientific knowledge, military strategy, and cosmic guardianship is the key to reshaping reality. As one Elara, Commander Chen, and Zixix focused their newly awakened cosmic powers on the Nexus crystal, the artifact pulsed with blinding light, expanding rapidly as it absorbed the endless potential of the multiversal nexus. Reality itself began to shift and change around them. They could see new timelines branching out, universes being born and reshaped according to their will. The encroaching darkness of the Void Reavers was pushed back, unable to exist in this new cosmic paradigm. But the process was not without cost. As they poured more and more of themselves into the creation of the new multiverse, Elara felt her individual consciousness begin to fade, merging with the vast cosmic awareness they were bringing into being. In the final moments before their transformation was complete, Elara shared a look with her companions. Though their physical forms were long gone, she could still see the essence of who they were: the curious scientist, the battle-hardened commander, the ancient guardian. Together, they had become something greater than the sum of their parts. As the new multiverse blossomed into existence, a final thought passed between them. We are no longer just Elara, Chen, and Zixix. We are the cosmic triad, guardians of infinite realities. Our story may be ending, but countless new adventures are about to begin. The multiversal nexus exploded with light, and the cosmic triad's consciousness expanded to encompass all of creation. They had transcended mortality, becoming living embodiments of the endless possibilities they had fought so hard to protect. And somewhere, in a distant corner of the newly born multiverse, on a small blue planet circling an unremarkable yellow star, a young scientist looked up at the night sky and felt an inexplicable spark of inspiration. The cosmic dance would continue, guided by the invisible hand of the cosmic triad, forever maintaining the delicate balance between order and chaos, creation and destruction. The multiverse was safe, reborn, and filled with infinite potential. And though the names Elara, Chen, and Zixix would fade into legend, their legacy would live on in every new discovery, every act of courage, and every moment of wonder experienced by countless beings across the vast tapestry of existence. The end was just the beginning, and the greatest adventure of all was about to unfold.